Lucamus Prime here, so it's time for another movie review today, and today I'm going to be reviewing the first installment of the Star Wars prequel trilogy directed by George Lucas, which is Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, released in 1999, which is the same year I was born, guys, which is pretty cool. And just so you know, guys, I am not alone today, because joining me is my very good friend Starkiller 5555, so yeah, I'm going to let him say what he wants to say about Phantom Menace first, and if that's ready, guys, please consider subscribing to his channel to give him some support, because he deserves it. So I'll have a link down below in the description for you guys to go subscribe to him. So yeah, and then take it away, Starkiller.
Hello, all you viewers of Lucamus Prime. I'm Starkiller 5555. Some of you might see me in some of Luke's comment sections, or some of you might actually watch my YouTube channel, but we're not here to talk about that. Today, as you probably would have guessed by now, we're here to discuss Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. So this movie came out in 1999, which was 16 years after Return of the Jedi, and when it first came out, it got a lot of hate, saying that it ruined Star Wars and everything was just so bad. Kind of like what they're doing with the sequel trilogy now. But me personally, the prequels have always been my favorite trilogy, and even now, Phantom Menace is one of my favorite Star Wars movies. I think all of the main cast members do brilliant. My favorite is Liam Neeson as Qui-Gon Jinn. Qui-Gon has always been one of my favorite characters in all of Star Wars, and definitely my favorite from this movie alone. But oh, yeah, all the cast members do great, including Jake Lloyd and Ahmed Best. I mean, those two actors, they got so much undeserved hate. I mean, that's my problem with, like, not this movie, but viewers of this movie, like, haters. Like, if you're gonna get mad at someone, get mad at George Lucas for writing the characters like that. They're just doing what they were told to do. But I'm not getting into that because I don't want to. So, yeah, the story is very solid. I do have to admit, when they get to Coruscant, it does get a little slow and a little boring with all, the politics and stuff. But, I mean, parts of them are very necessary to the plot. And I think everything on Naboo and Tatooine, everything is very entertaining and very solid. I think the effects for 1999 hold up very well. I mean, there are some moments where you're like, this doesn't really look the greatest, but still, like, that's very impressive for 1999. As far as I've seen. But yeah, so on to things that I don't really like in this movie. I think Jar Jar is a little too childish. Like, I don't think he's as bad as, like, haters make him out to be. But I mean, this movie was made for children. You could tell that it was more child themed, but Jar Jar's just a little too childish. I also think Maul, I love Maul, but in this movie alone, he's very undeveloped. He's just there, existing. And I'm so glad that Clone Wars and Rebels brought him back, because I love Maul. I also think Obi-Wan's a little bit of a jerk in this movie. Like, I'm not really a huge Obi-Wan fan from Phantom Menace. I mean, granted, he gets better in Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, but Obi-Wan's kind of nah. Like, I like Phantom Menace Anakin more than Obi-Wan. Like, come at me, haters. But yeah, so really, I'm gonna give this movie a 8 out of 10. It's just really good for me. Like I said, it's a little slow in Coruscant, but other than that, very entertaining, and it's a great addition to the Star Wars saga. So, thank you to Lucamus Prime for having me on, and I hope all you viewers liked me on, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next reviews where we do Attack of the Clones. Bye!
Alright, so it's now my turn to talk about Phantom Menace. So yeah, now, the prequels get lots of hate from people, guys. That is like a known fact about them, sadly. But I'm going to be honest, guys, and say that I am definitely not a prequel hater, because I actually really love this trilogy. And this movie, The Phantom Menace, of course. So, yeah. So, what do I like about it? So this movie, The Phantom Menace, is a first installment in chronological order of Star Wars. Not in release order, because the first one was of course, A New Hope in 1977, but yeah. And yet I really, thoroughly enjoy this movie so much. I don't understand why it gets so much hate, because, guys, if you guys want to see a terrible Star Wars movie, go watch the sequels or the holiday special, because they're god-awful, in my opinion. What's great about this is, I love the cast of this movie, absolutely. For example, my favourite actor in The Phantom Menace has to definitely be Liam Neeson as Qui-Gon Jinn. This movie introduced me to him as an actor, and he plays Qui-Gon so perfectly in this movie. And I think Qui-Gon is probably one of the most underrated characters in Star Wars, absolutely. There's tons of underrated characters, but he's definitely one of them. I mean, because Qui-Gon is actually more important than when people realise, especially thanks to what Dave Filoni said about the whole Duel of Fates thing, how that duel is about, the fate of a galaxy. And of course, put it this way, guys, if Qui-Gon didn't make the decision to stop on Tatooine to get, parts for the ship, we'd never have met Anakin Skywalker, and we'd never have the Chosen One. We wouldn't have Star Wars. So yeah, we've got to really appreciate Qui-Gon for that, absolutely. So yeah. I also really loved Ewan McGregor in his debut as Obi-Wan Kenobi as a Padawan to Qui-Gon. I gotta say, with Ewan McGregor, I really do admire how he tried so much to capture the same personality as Sir Alec Guinness from, the original trilogy. And he did a phenomenal job in this, really good. He did a very good job trying to hide his natural Scottish accent and tries to do the same accent as Sir Alec Guinness, which was very good impression. I'm not gonna lie, it was very good, absolutely. I also really loved Natalie Portman in her debut as Padme Amidala, who is, pretending to be, a maid to the Queen when really she is the real Queen. That was a very crafty trick, by the way, very clever. Really clever, really, to hide her identity. And of course, as a fun fact, guys, the Queen's decoy is played by Keira Knightley, who you guys may know as Elizabeth Swann from the Pirates of the Caribbean films, because she and Natalie Portman do look very similar, but of course, they have different nationality, because Natalie Portman is of course American, and Keira Knightley is British, so yeah. But yeah, they do look very similar. But yeah, Natalie did a phenomenal job in this movie and in the rest of the trilogy as Padme. And I had a crush on her when I was a kid as well. So yeah, she was absolutely brilliant, yeah. Okay, so I also really love the legendary Ian McDiarmid, this time playing a different person as what we saw him in the original trilogy, which is Senator Palpatine. So yeah. And he, of course, reprised his role as Darth Sidious, of course, in scenes. And he was great, and what I like about him in this, it's very unique because he's not playing pretty much the exact same character from the originals, because in the original trilogy, guys, he's the Emperor of the Galaxy, and he's deformed, isn't he? Whereas in this, his skin is absolutely fine, it's not been deformed yet, and he doesn't sound demonic, and what I like about his performance as Darth Sidious is, he blends, his normal speaking voice a bit with his, Emperor voice, and it just fits absolutely perfectly, a very nice blend. And he did a very good job differentiating between personality, because unless you knew he was the same actor who played Palpatine from Return of the Jedi and of course The Empire Strikes Back Special Edition, you probably wouldn't be able to tell that it's the same actor really, because of how well he differentiates. And another thing as well is, I did love the return of Frank Oz as a voice of Yoda, absolutely. Now, there is one thing I will say about Yoda, guys, which, I didn't really like in this. I didn't really like the puppet in this, because it looked pretty hideous and gave me a few nightmares when I first saw it. Like, it didn't look very nice. Like, I don't know why they didn't use the same puppet from the original trilogy, really, because the puppet in Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi looked 10 times better. And they could have just used that same puppet and gave it, some, like, makeup or whatever, or paint it to make it look younger, but sadly not. Which is why, guys, I very much prefer Yoda being computer generated in the re-release of Phantom Menace in 3D, because guys, in 2011 I actually went to see a re-release of Phantom Menace in 3D at the cinema, and it was actually a great experience, and it was actually much more comforting to see Yoda, with CGI, because he looked 10 times better, absolutely. I mean, they did a really phenomenal job with it. Really good job. So yeah. Now, with regards to the puppet, I am not blaming Frank Oz. It's not his fault at all, because he was just the voice of Yoda, wasn't he? But yeah, they could use a better puppet than what they had at the time, yeah. So I very much prefer, the CGI version, which I'm very glad George Lucas decided to include in the special, re-release of it. I also really love the debut of Samuel L. Jackson as Mace Windu. Mace Windu is definitely one of my favourite Jedi Council members of all time, and yeah. And Samuel Jackson did a great job playing him in this. I mean, it was this what introduced him as an actor, and it's my favourite role of Samuel L. Jackson's, absolutely. And There is also an actor in this film that I'd like to defend, guys, which is Jake Lloyd as Anakin Skywalker, because, I don't know why he gets so much hate for playing child Anakin, because, in my opinion, guys, he played the child persona of Anakin Skywalker perfectly. Yeah, I've not got a single problem with Jake Lloyd as Anakin. I think he played him perfectly. The sweet, kind boy that he is before he transforms into the evil Sith Lord Darth Vader. So yeah, I don't know why he gets so much hate. I mean, my favourite YouTuber, Empire Fan Productions, now known as, B or Hero Fan Productions, he said that, he was once friends with Jake Lloyd and he hopes he's doing well, and I do as well, absolutely. And yeah, so at least he also defends Jake Lloyd as well. I'm sure there's other people out there that defend Jake as well, and I certainly do as well. And now, I also love the return of Anthony Daniels as C-3PO, and yeah. They claim that apparently he just did the voice of 3PO because 3PO is a skeletal puppet, I believe, but I'm pretty sure, he was the one that was operating the puppet, off screen, and also saying the lines at the same time, despite, several claims. But I have no clue who it was who puppeteered 3PO, but I think it might have been Anthony, maybe. And of course, the return of R2-D2, one of my favourite astromech droid, absolutely. It was great to see him return, played by Kenny Baker, rest in peace. I like he played a very heroic role at the start where, he stopped the ship from being destroyed by repairing it. What a hero he is. I felt bad for the astromech droids who got killed, so yeah. And now, I really, really love Ray Park as Darth Maul in this, and of course, dubbed by Peter Serafinowicz, because, and one thing I will say is I wish Maul had more screen time and also more dialogue, because he doesn't really appear much in the film. I think it's less than 10 minutes of screen time and only a couple of lines. And there are some lines he does say in the trailers and promotional material which are sadly cut from the movie, sadly, such as, fear is my ally. Yeah, they cut that, I believe. But I really do appreciate, Darth Maul as a character after he returned in, the shows and stuff like that, real, and they gave him more backstory and development. I was happy about that. And so, yeah. Now, my favourite thing about the entire movie, guys, is definitely the climatic lightsaber duel between, Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan versus Darth Maul. That was absolutely brilliant. Great choreography, great stunts. Because I do believe that Liam Neeson actually trains to do his own stunts for this fight, despite being 47 at the time, of the release. So, yeah, he really did a great effort, absolutely. And I think Ewan McGregor did as well. And Ray Park, as a fun fact, guys, I've actually met Ray Park at a convention in 2006, and he told me that, when he played Darth Maul, he did his own stunts for a role, and he tried to make them as realistic as possible and very authentic. So, yeah, that's why I really appreciate Ray Park, and I'm very glad he got the chance to play Maul again in Solo, and also in, the final Clone Wars season episode called The Phantom Apprentice in motion capture. Other good things I do like is, I do like how the visuals are slightly improved compared to the originals, due to later being in technology, of course, as well. And I also love a pod racing scene. I think it was very well visualed, absolutely, especially in 1999, because, in my opinion, the visuals of this movie definitely hold up to 2021. They really do. They're great. And I also love how they introduced new enemies being the battle droids, because, they're very different to the Stormtroopers, yes, because they're pretty stupid, but they're like comic relief, really. Now, speaking of comic relief, I'm going to talk about Jar Jar now, guys. I don't really hate Jar Jar as much as other people do. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think he's a pretty silly character at times, really, but he can be comic relief, which I do appreciate, and to be honest, guys, as well, unlike a certain character that I hate in the sequels called Rose Tico, I actually think Jar Jar has a purpose compared to her, really, because if you watch this film, he actually does play a pretty important role, really, so yeah. So that I appreciate that George Lucas gave him the role, and of course, I do defend Ahmed Best as well, guys. I think it's real unfair that he got so much hate for playing this character, because I've got a rule, guys, with regards to, actors and actresses being, by all means, hate the characters as much as you want, but please do not hate who plays them. Just don't, because it's not their fault. So, yeah. Now, other thing as well that I do love is John Williams' music, because John Williams isn't my favourite composer, and he returned to give such a brilliant, breathtaking music score in this. He did a phenomenal job at it, absolutely. I love how he included the track called Jewel of Fate. It's like an amazing, climatic, fight music. It's absolutely beautiful and very, very amazing, and, a great pace as well. I really love it, very intense, incredible. And now with regards to, I also do love the chemistry between Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan as well, the way they interact. It's really good. I do love that. And it makes me, wonder why people hate this movie so much when, when I look at their chemistry, because it's so great. I mean, one thing I will say is that I also wish that C-3PO deserved more screen time as well, yeah. Because he doesn't really play much of a big role in this compared to the other two prequels, sadly. But at least got to see him meeting R2 for the first time, and of course, it's revealed that Anakin Skywalker later revealed to be Darth Vader built him, so yeah. Now, guys, so that's me talking about Phantom Menace. I don't hate this movie at all, I actually really love it. I really do love this movie so much, and I don't know why it gets hate, so if you're asking how I'd give it out of 10, guys, just like in my ranking video I did last year in August, I'm going to give this movie an 8 out of 10. So yeah, it's my second favourite prequel, and yeah, I really enjoy it, so yeah. So guys, drill guys, be sure to give this video a like. Also, be sure to leave in comments what you guys think of this movie if you've seen it, Phantom Menace, to see what your thoughts are on it. Also, be sure to subscribe to Starkiller, like I told you to, but Starkiller deserves subscribers, absolutely. And thanks again for taking part in the review, Starkiller, means a lot. Also, be sure to join Team Prime by pressing subscribe for more videos coming in the future, and may the Force be with you always.